Yo everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to another video. And today we have got the race reaction for the Qatar Grand Prix, a brand new circuit for the F1 calendar, of course. And it delivered a lot, I thought. Lots of drama, lots to talk about, and yeah, a very big shock because I think we were all coming into the weekend a bit unknown, obviously, because we've never raced there before. But the track itself wasn't really much overtaking, but we got action, so that's all that we can ask for. So let's dive into the race reaction for the Qatar Grand Prix. So we'll kick it all off with Mercedes then, and Lewis Hamilton taking first once again. Absolutely dominated the whole weekend, even in qualifying, the race as well. Literally dominated every single part of the weekend, and obviously coming off Brazil, that's back-to-back wins for him as well, and just what he needed coming to this championship. The gap now only 8 points. The only thing that sort of wasn't perfect for Lewis was the fastest lap. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get it because Max had it after pitting, I think, again for another set of tyres. So unfortunately for Lewis, didn't get the fast lap point, but nevertheless closes the gap once again. And 8 points coming into the last 2 races is crazy. It's absolutely mad. But yeah, very dominant from Lewis Hamilton, and yeah, that's great from his point of view. However, on the other side of the garage, Bottas unfortunately got a little bit unlucky with the puncture halfway through the Grand Prix, and then obviously he pitted, he carried on, but they just decided to retire the car in the end because there was too much damage, and unfortunately for him, that wasn't he wasn't able to take the fastest lap away from Max Verstappen either. So that's a bit of a shame for Bottas and Mercedes, but I still feel like they'll be happy with today's result. Obviously the championship, the constructors as well, is literally like 5 points in it, I think, so it's literally coming down to the wire every single championship at the moment, so it's very, very cool. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton dominant once again. So next up we'll do Red Bull then. Max Verstappen, like I just mentioned, he had a fantastic Grand Prix. Got a little bit unlucky in qualifying. He wasn't able to do better on his lap because of Pierre Gasly's puncher over the curb, but apart from that, he also got the grid penalty as well, which took him down to 7th place behind Bottas. So it was very interesting at the start, but obviously made the brilliant start up into 4th straight off the bat. Nearly got taken out by Alonso at the start as Alonso came across. Not intentional, I don't think. I just don't think he was expecting Max to be there, because everyone sort of really took a wide line into turn 1, and then coming into turn 2, they sort of all filed to the left-hand side and then right to the right-hand side, but Max kept on the inside, like I said, stood into 4th, and then managed to get Alonso and Gasly literally within like a few laps. I think he was up to P2 in like 5 laps. So a really good result for Max Verstappen, and Sergio Perez as well really gave us some good entertainment. Obviously had a really bad qualifying, but got his way up through the field, having some really good battles all the way through, and he managed to finish in 4th as well. So really, really good result from Sergio Perez, and I don't think, if it wasn't for him, I don't think the race would have been very entertaining at all. So thank you, Sergio Perez. So next up we'll do Alpine, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Fernando Alonso has got a podium once again. I can't remember, I think it's in 104 races he hasn't had a podium, but it's so good to see him back up on the podium. Obviously he had all those troubles with McLaren for those years, and then his last podium I think was Hungary 2014. So yeah, really, really, really good for Alpine, and great to see Alonso back on the podium, and Esteban Ocon as well, finishing in 5th as well. So really, really good hold of points for Alpine, especially with their fight in the constructors with AlphaTauri as well at the moment. Just absolutely brilliant from Fernando, and great to see him back up on the podium. So next up we'll do Aston Martin, and Lance Stroll finishing in 6th place. A really, really good job from Lance Stroll. Just, I don't think we really saw much of him. He had that little battle with Gasly and Bottas halfway through the race, I think, when they were going 3 wide down to turn 1. Stroll came out on top. But yeah, just sort of kept out of danger. Obviously the punches later on in the Grand Prix sort of helped out a little bit, and a lot of people decided to do 2 stops rather than 1 because they didn't want to risk a punch or anything. But yeah, P6 for Lance Stroll, and Sebastian Vettel in 10th as well, picking up a point for Aston Martin as well. So I think he started 17th. I think he picked up some good penalties. So yeah, really good comeback for Aston Martin, and a good hold of points as well. So next up is Ferrari. We'll do Carlos Sainz first. He was ahead of Leclerc, so Sainz 7th and Leclerc 8th. So once again, a really good result for Ferrari with their battle with McLaren, once again extending that championship further again. And yeah, just didn't really see a lot of them, to be honest. I'm just trying to think if anything really happened with them, but not really. There was a few battles with them here and there, I think, as well. But yeah, no, really good to see Ferrari once again doing well. They've definitely sorted out their issues from last year, it has to be said. And if anything, they're probably the 3rd best car at the moment Well, I was saying that, it's so hard to call at the moment because AlphaTauri, McLaren, Ferrari, Alpine, there's so many cars that, well, so many teams that are really in that sort of mix at the moment for that third best team. But yeah, once again, a good day for Ferrari. So next up is McLaren then, and Lando Norris finishing in ninth place. Sorry, nearly said 11th. Ninth place for Lando, and Daniel Ricciardo in 12th. So I think Lando's race got a little bit spoiled because he had a puncture and he had to come into the pits. Didn't actually fully go, but I think the team saw the tyre deflating, so they had to come into the pits, obviously, to change it. But he managed to get some points on the board still for, obviously, like I said, that title fight. And then Daniel Ricciardo in 12th place as well. I didn't really see much of him. Once again, he had a bit of a disappointing qualifying, unfortunately. Wasn't able to come back through the field that well. So yeah, a disappointment for Ricciardo. Another disappointing day is AlphaTauri. They looked so good at the start of the weekend. Gasly, I think, finished P2 in like 2 of the practice sessions, but he was absolutely on it, and obviously started P2 on the grid as well for the race after having obviously the grid penalties for the other teams. But yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to convert that pace into a podium or points, unfortunately. So Pierre Gasly finished 11th and Yuki Tsunoda in 13th. Yeah, just a bit of a disappointing weekend for AlphaTauri. Once again, like I said, with the battle with Alpine at the moment, I think that championship is more or less over unless we get an absolute banging race for Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. But we'll wait and see. This, 2021 has been up and down, so God knows what's going to happen for the rest of the season. But yeah, disappointing day for AlphaTauri. And once again, we'll do, as I've done for the last 2 or 3 race reactions now, we'll do the last 3 teams all in one go. So Alfa Romeo 14th and 15th, Raikkonen finishing ahead of Giovinazzi. Yeah, once again, didn't really see much of the Alfa Romeos. Mick Schumacher finished ahead of Russell after both Williams got both punches, unfortunately, which completely wrecked their race. Latifi actually retired, but yeah, like I say, Mick Schumacher finished in 16th ahead of Russell in 17th, and then Mazepin in 18th. Once again, didn't really see anything of the Hasses or the Williams apart from when they had the puncher. But yeah, not really much else to say on them, guys, but apart from that. So there we go, guys, for the race reaction. Yeah, like I said, a race that was better than expected, I think. Like I said, I think a lot of us came into the weekend with unknowns of what was going to happen. Obviously, there's quite a flowing sort of circuit as well, like medium speed corners, but it delivered, and I think that, again, is down to Perez being out of position, and we had Verstappen coming through the field in the first few laps. We had Bottas also getting involved as well, and yeah, just yeah, like I said, a better race than expected. But France and Russia were good this year, so anything is possible if that's the case. But if you have enjoyed this video, guys, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Let me know your thoughts and comments of everything that happened in the Grand Prix, and I will see you all again in the next one, guys. Take care.